What is going on? What's up, y'all? It's been a full weekend of what I would call intentional grocery shopping, all right? Because I don't know about you, but sometimes I write a list and I go to the grocery store and somehow I don't feel like I did my best in getting all the things we need. And somehow I end up always having to go back to the store for something, okay? But this weekend, I feel like I did very good, okay? So, come along for my thoughts. All right, welcome to the Selfcare Revolution podcast. If this is your first time here, we are talking all things basic self-care over here, okay? Pull up a seat, share this with a friend, tell them, the rest, to tell a friend to tell another friend, all right? So listen, like I said, this week we're talking about my intentional grocery shopping trip this weekend, all right? And as you can see in the title, I came across some lion's mane mushroom. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I have been familiar with lion's mane mushroom for a long time, but this was my first time actually making something with it, actually purchasing it, because I've always been hesitant just because it looks intimidating to me. So, but I'm glad I did. I went to a farmer's market and there was a knowledgeable company there, or I'm not even going to say company, a knowledgeable farmer there who explained a lot to me. And so now I cannot wait until the next time that I can go buy some. Okay. I went to multiple farmers markets this weekend. All right. And then I went to Costco and I came home with the lion's mane mushroom and a bunch of other stuff. All right. Now, if you haven't ever seen lion's mane, it looks nothing like a regular mushroom, okay? I guess it resembles a lion's mane, but it's like a ball, and a furry ball is what it looks like, right? But it's not the texture that I thought it was going to be. The texture actually really, really mimics crab meat. It was so mind-boggling when I was shredding it with my fingers to not like actually eat a piece because it felt like crab meat. Okay, so obviously I decided to make some crabless crab cakes. Hello, what else was I going to make? All right. Now, I will say they were good, but I was not as heavy-handed on the seasoning as I needed to be, but it was good. All right. The texture of the lion's mane actually really works for it, and I want to use it to make. I saw people like shred it up to stir fry it and all types of stuff, whatever. But I could tell from what I made that it's actually going to be good in a couple of meals, all right? Because they turned out decent, okay? Like I said, my seasoning needs work. I needed more of like that crab cake like flavor profile, and I know exactly what I was missing. I did not add in nori or something like that. But next time we'll do it, okay? Because here's the thing, decent on the first try is actually a win for me. All right, it was a win for me. I'm gonna keep on experimenting. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of my thing. The only mushroom I don't really get down with is the shiitake mushroom, but I like oyster mushrooms the most. All right, and so but lion's mane, the texture, like I said, I'm gonna mess with it again to see what else I can make, because that texture I could get with that, especially after you cook it. Okay, you know what I mean? I'm with it. All right, so if you've ever tried lion's mane, you have some tips or whatever, get in the comments and let me know, okay? Because, your girl likes to experiment in the kitchen, all right? So, if you're not a new listener, but you're a returning listener, I have been on also an Apple obsession. We're going to call it an Apple journey, okay? First of all, I like a good golden delicious, okay? I like a good golden delicious. I'm not really a fan of red delicious or like any of the red apples, to be honest, until now, because I have had a chance to try Cosmic Crisp and Evercrisp, a Pink Lady, and a bunch of other ones. But I will say the ones that reign supreme for me, there's two, okay? Number one is the Opal Apple, all right? The hands down, that's my number one. And number two is the Gold Rush apple. Now, I've been finding the Gold Rush apples at farmers markets, all right? And yeah, so that's what I'm going to keep doing with that. But those are the two that I like. I found more great apples this weekend. It's becoming like a whole thing, because now I know exactly where to get my opal apples, when they're in season, because I have to have them. Okay, I've been trying different varieties, and it's turned into something that I really actually look forward to, and I feel like I couldn't have a better habit. All right, because the daily five, that's what the daily five basics really look like in real life. Right, the daily five basics are hydration, nourishment, movement, prayer and reflection, and sleep. All right, so the one obviously we're talking about today is Nourish, because it's not about being on a diet. It's about eating food that actually does good for your body, makes you feel good, and sometimes it's something that brings that small bit of joy to you. You know what I'm saying? But the bigger point is that you need to eat foods that are nourishing your body, not something that always, comes in a package. You might have ingredients in it that you have no idea how to pronounce, stuff like that. All right, intentional grocery shopping. It's not glamorous. I would even venture to say sometimes it's a bit monotonous and boring, right? But I actually feel great and rejuvenated after I'm done, because I know that I spent all this time intentionally choosing things that when I get hungry, I'll be able to go and fix something great. I basically spent my whole Sunday doing it, and a little bit of my Saturday, because one of the farmers markets was on Saturday and one was on Sunday. But like I said, I came home with real food, and that's my cheat code. All right, now, have I hit my ideal weight yet? No, because I'm no longer even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about being healthy, creating a consistent workout routine, because contrary to popular belief, it's the consistency that gets you where you need to be. Like, you just need to develop the habits, create the habits, and just keep your head down and keep doing it no matter what. Okay, because do I have cheat days? I don't really like to call them cheat days. I eat what I want when I want, and sometimes it's regimented, like meaning, okay, we're not eating this, maybe sugar or whatever, but most of the time I just eat what I want. I just pay attention to whether I'm eating whole foods, nourishing foods, and I like the way I fit in my clothes. So that's where we are right now, okay? But like I said, I came home with the real food. I tried something new, the lion's mane, you know what I'm saying? And I felt good about everything that I picked. So that's the nourishment, like, pillar of self-care. All right, it's not perfect. It's nothing that's Instagram worthy. It's just me going to the grocery store intentionally picking stuff, because like I said, if you listen to last week's podcast, you know that I said there's no better food than the food that you can cook at your home, because you know exactly what that food has been through from cooking it to your plate. But that's another, like, tangent I can go off on. So but just basically the daily five basics, they're not about being like a wellness guru or wellness person. It's just basically being a regular person out there making small choices that add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just add up. So that's what my weekend was about. Now, if you're not into like vegetables and you feel like you can't cook or whatever the case, because I have heard people say, oh, I don't eat vegetables or whatever. Listen, more power to you, okay? But you're going to have to be an adult at some point and start eating your vegetables, okay? And really, once you commit to creating the habit, you will start to crave healthier things, okay? It won't always be the food that you're addicted to, because we are addicted to a lot of different stuff that they put in this food. So I think that it's important for us to like pay attention to what we're eating, what we're putting into our body or whatever. And it's not about being perfect. It's just about noticing. That's all it is. About noticing today and then coming back tomorrow and notice something else again. All right. So like I said, y'all, Self-Care Matters Daily. That's actually my website, Self-Care Matters Daily. If you want to make sure you're following the podcast and keep yourself abreast of all the things that we have coming this year, definitely check out the website. You can also grab your merch from that website as well. All right, the Selfcare Revolution tee is live on the site if you want to rep the brand, okay? So come back next week, because we're just getting started. We have Self-Care Awareness Month coming. We have National Wellness Month coming up. We have a bunch of fun stuff coming up, okay? And we're going to be talking about the pillars of self-care, the basic pillars. We're not talking about spa days. We're not talking about brunch with your friends or nothing like that, all right? It's the daily 5 basics, okay? The daily 5 basics. All right, so anyway, I'm Demita, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.